This is Cafe Galaxy, the beating heart of student life, where the air is filled with the aroma of suspiciously cheap coffee and the sound of passionate, intellectual discussions. Important stuff, like whether a building's design can be problematic or whether a concrete slab silently judges your life choices. Real brunch conversations with wisdom, the kind you can only have while eating a half-stale sandwich and pretending you've gotten more than 4 hours of sleep this week. And then there's me, George Chris, the future visionary architect and current champion of sitting alone in crowded rooms. Welcome to my solo exhibition, entitled Anxiety in the Corner, a tragedy in 3 acts and a free spare part. Behold, the architect's file, very famous. It holds the secrets of the universe, or, in my case, a terrifyingly blank page that has been judging me for the past 45 minutes. My pen is hovering. My ambition is evident. My brain, however, is a million miles away. It is not based on structural integrity or geometric forms. No, it is on it. And here, my friends, is where the carefully planned destruction of my life is officially scheduled to begin. And right across the room was the source of the distraction, Lisa. She laughed at something her friend said, and her golden hair wasn't just catching the sunlight. It was actually grabbing it, speaking sternly to it, and making it work for her. She had this magnetism, this presence. Her face didn't just have light. It actively produced it. It was a self-sustaining, renewable energy source. A human glow stick with a PhD in captivating everyone within a 50-foot radius. And for me, she wasn't just beautiful. She was radiant, untouched. She was on a pedestal so high, I'm pretty sure her zip code was heaven, floor 2. And most brutal part? She was completely, blissfully, and completely unaware that I even existed. My presence registered on her radar, somewhere beneath the gentle current and that strange smell from the cafeteria. So, I did what any young man with complete confidence would do in this situation. I did a quick, brutal assessment of my performance. I looked down to see what was really going on. The evidence was damning. A faded t-shirt with a stain that could tell its own mysterious origin story. Jeans so tight, I think they were auditioning for the role of Capri, and sneakers so worn that the soles were less protection and more vague innuendo. Let's call it high intensity and pray for a biblical flood, and sneakers so worn that the soles were less protective and more vague innuendo. It basically just whispered floor. And this one, crystal clear, Pulitzer Prize-winning thought came to me. What girl in her right mind, with eyes that function normally, would see anything attractive in this human tangle of overflowing t-shirts and despair? Of course, I looked back at Lisa, that radiant sun goddess, and shriveled in my seat like a deflated balloon, I went full camouflage to stay off her radar. Suddenly, a voice interrupts my delirium of pity.
Are you okay, George?
I almost jumped out of my skin. It was Bill, one of about 3 people in my entire class who ever acknowledged my existence. I think he felt sorry for me. Yes, I murmured, doing that incredibly smooth motion where I was furiously eating my sandwich to hide the fact that my eyes were practically glued to Lisa. Of course, Bill followed my gaze. He smiled slyly.
Lisa again? You always stare at her.
I immediately turned the color of a fire hydrant. I'm not staring, I screamed. A lie so obvious it deserved an award for exaggeration.
Sure, whatever you say.
Bill just laughed with that little annoying chuckle and got up to leave. But before he left, he threw one last dig.
Good luck with that. She's into guys like Danny, tall enough to touch the ceiling and rich enough not to care.
Bill's words stung me, but I try not to show it. But inside, ouch, direct hit. It wasn't just the towering shadow of Danny, the basketball star, that made Lisa unapproachable to someone like me. The real problem was my whole life. My dad decided that this whole fatherhood thing wasn't for him and gave up when I was 4. Architecture school is expensive. I buy tools, paints, materials like I'm building the Acropolis myself. My mom works 1,000,000 hours a week to pay the bills, and I distribute every dollar like a general on a mission. Small luxuries? Forget them. Others get shirts, leather jackets, guitars. I got toothpaste that makes teeth shine. We are living the dream. Literally, someone else's dream. And then Lisa just got up and walked away, leaving her group behind. Her blonde hair glistened in the sun like she was starring in a shampoo commercial. And she didn't even look at me, which made sense. I had become one with the wall. I was part of the decor. I watched her leave and felt my chest do this weird little tightening. You know what? It's a classic cocktail. 50% pure longing, 50% indigestion from that questionable cafeteria toast. She probably doesn't even know my name, or worse, she knows it as the corner guy. But then it happened. A moment of pure, unadulterated, and utterly delusional genius. Last Saturday, at the Strangers concert, Lisa wasn't just beautiful. She was radiant. And it wasn't because of someone's biceps. It was right when the guitarist started his solo. Her whole vibe just shifted. Bingo. Her kryptonite wasn't confidence or six-pack abs. It was guitar players. Of course it was. Because my life is basically a sitcom, and the writers are merciless. My gaze fell on my file. I opened it abruptly, and there it was. Staring at me from a glossy brochure, a bright red electric guitar. The exact same model as my neighbor, Danny. You know Danny? The undisputed star of the basketball team? The guy whose mere presence probably makes the flowers bloom? This Danny. A plan, a terrible, devious, downright diabolical plan, started to take shape in my mind. What could possibly go wrong? Because here's the secret weapon, the plot twist in this tragicomedy. For years, I secretly practiced on my dad's old acoustic guitar. Yes, the one he left behind. This is not just a musical instrument, more like an emotionally charged object that just happens to have strings. It's my therapist, my confidant, the one thing I've ever truly devoted myself to. In its current state, it looks worn down by the tears of my frustration. We've got a very complicated relationship. So, problem solved, right? I'm a secret hero guitarist. Wrong. Problem not solved at all. Because the emotional support guitar I use is from the miserable Stone Age. I need this electric guitar, the bright, crimson beacon of hope. But guitars like this, they cost money. More money than my entire wardrobe, combined. And that includes the socks I have from high school that are more holes than socks. So, I did what any desperate man would do. I emptied my wallet onto the table. It was a sad, sad scene. A few crumpled bills, some coins that looked like they had been through war, and a school meal voucher for a coffee and toast that I wouldn't have bought otherwise. I did the math. I had exactly half. Half. I was living the real-life version of a free-to-play mobile game. I could either play for 400 hours or just pay to win. The solution hit me with the force of a gentle caress. Footwork. I would become the most desperate businessman in the neighborhood. George's dubious liability services. Need your dog walked? I will, but I will judge your taste in pets. Need your groceries carried? I am your man, but I might eat a grape or two. Need your yard cleaned up? Great. There's nothing that relaxes me more than getting hit with a leaf blower like I'm fighting dragons. Need somewhere to leave your lively little guy? No problem, as long as he knows how to use the toilet, or at least a newspaper. In a few weeks, maybe less if I discovered a previously unknown talent for finding lost lottery tickets. I could have the cash. The dream was alive. He was on life support, but he had a pulse, and I needed that dream. Because let's be realistic, Lisa wasn't just a girl. She was a supernova, shining, magnetic, completely untouchable. A simple hello, for me, wouldn't have accomplished anything. It would have been like a mosquito whispering to a female hurricane. Excuse me, ma'am, you're too windy. I had to do something bold. Something that would make her see me not as George, the human wallpaper, but as George, the guy with a capital G. I had to devise such a dramatic plot twist that it would take me straight out of the background and into the foreground. I had to transform from invisible man to unforgettable man. Or, that weird guy with the amazingly cool guitar. I'd take that. I'd take that title. The guy who smells a little desperate, but plays a bad solo. It was a start. The plan was in place. It was hellish. It was great. It was going to be a wonderful, glorious fiasco. What did go wrong?